So, dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. So, this is our ongoing meditation session. Once we get connected with the other network, we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound, please, and follow the sound. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to understand how this meditation help for us to develop our inner awareness. So, when it comes to practicing meditation, why we need to practice meditation, why it is necessary. So, and according to the tranquility meditation and insight meditation, and according to the Buddha's teaching, there is a name we call mindfulness. So the bhavana, cultivation of mind, and when you cultivate the mind, you gain the mindfulness. So why you need the mindfulness? So when you have the mindfulness mean that moment of experience, whatever that you experience with your perception, in that very moment, you are capable to recognize with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind consciousness clearly and see it and experience it knowingly. So that is one way that you understand yourself, you are mindful or not. You are experience it knowingly. Then another way it called well known. What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you feel, what you think. You are clearly know that. So that will build up the clarity with your consciousness or the awareness. So that is why you gain the direct perception. And in the ancient time, there was another method, and still there are some people do that. With our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, we are blocking that all the perception. And we detach, we separate. And as example, closing our eyes and go to a very silent place and becoming isolated ourselves and going through very rigorous, like a very ascetic way of practice. And sometimes we try to avoid the world. But here, when it comes to mindfulness, there is no voidness. Be very clear with that. There is no, when you see something, there is no, you stay away or resist or void that experience. When you hear something, there is no voidness, there is no resistance with what you experience. With your nose, tongue, the body, and with the mind also the same. So here with the mindfulness, you become very open with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. You are become very open with the sensory doors, but you not exist. You don't go beyond the sensory doors. That's as example, when you see something, you become very clear and you develop that your inner consciousness develop a very clear relationship with your eye consciousness and recognize what you see. Rather than jump ahead, go ahead, you become very careful about your eye consciousness and be with your eye consciousness. So then what happens? So whatever you see, your awareness not go beyond your eye. So as example, when we see something, sometimes if we go to our past, or maybe if we go to future related to the perception, then what happened in the moment of experience, disconnect. But the mindfulness very mean, in the moment of experience, you become more sharp and clear with your eye consciousness. And not only that, with your ear consciousness. So whatever you hear, you become very conscious with it. When you smell something, you become very conscious with it. Well-knownly experience it. Clearly, knowingly experience it. And another way, it's kind of like a well-protected way where the awareness become a guardian to your sensory doors, because it no go beyond your eye. So that way, whatever you see, hear, smell, taste, feel, and think cannot take you to past to the future. So in that very moment, whatever the experience come to you, you become more clear. So that is another way that mindfulness work. And so that is why we need that, because otherwise our mental formations or the cankers, our imaginations, emotions always take us away from the moment. So then we experience something, but our mind somewhere else. So then there is a disconnection happen. In that disconnection, what will happen? That you may don't know what you do. So then there is a doubt arise, the fear arise, failure arise, unsatisfaction arise, unclarity arise. So that's why mindfulness, another way it called, well-known, knowingly, experience. And another one is called remembering. So the moment, it's not that remembering doesn't mean that you write down something and repeat again and try to memorize. So remember that remembering and memorize two different things. We come most of time in our life, we mostly forget the remembering part. We try to memorize. So the memory can develop by repeating again and again and again when you more associate something, once you become more familiar with that. But the remembering, it's not like that. Remembering come out of the moment of experience. As example, with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, when you very clearly know that what happens, it's going to be with you. It's not going to forget. You know what you experience. So that is become remembering. And once it become a memory, it's not kind of like you input something by force. So that is two different ways. Try to clearly understand. And other thing is, this is one of the major important things, because of these machines, technology, science, it's nothing wrong with that things. But what happens by the time we lose the power of our human mind, and how we lose that power of human mind, as you see in this, this few years, very recent years, what happened to our humanity, we lose the very quality of our human thoughts. Think about it. We lose the very quality of thoughts. So the mindfulness bring up the quality of thoughts and the quality of the mind. That another way it called the wholesome thoughts. So when you lose the quality of mind, so as example, when you not become mindful, when your experience become not clear, as a result of that, what will happen? You will go to unwholesome act and for unnecessary activities. And once you interfere with the unwholesome activities, what will happen? The result. So then just imagine, as a society, as a community, as a sangha, when everybody interfere with unwholesome activities, what will happen? The very next day, as a result of that, as a feedback, what we gain? Unwholesome result. So then it is a very important as human beings that uplift the quality of our human thoughts. Even today's with the school system or the universities or through the educational system, we can't see it. Because day by day, it slowly, that the quality of mind go down, decline. So that's why in a practicing meditation will uplift that. So then we have no choice. We can't live without these machines and technology and these other things, tools, gadgetics. So then what we need to do? So we have to bring this extra skill for our life. As example, sometimes if you work night shift, by the time what will happen, you don't get enough rest or sleep, then maybe you're going to get weak. So then how you can recover from that? Drink much water. So when you drink enough water, what happens that whatever that damage happening in your body, by the time you can recover. So like that, because of these machines and technology, this gadgematics brings some kind of effect for our mind. So how you can recover from that? At least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and develop this mindful meditation. So that way you can heal yourself, because it is very necessary. Otherwise, by the time materially we become very successful, but in our mental qualities, we become very weak. So that is where these material things become more and more and more around us. But when your mind becomes more powerful, when the quality of mind becomes more higher, it becomes very sustainable yourself to maintain your life, and then it becomes less material. And sometimes we think, oh, very simple lifestyle. It's not easy. When the quality of mind not good, what happens? You can't have a very simple lifestyle. You always going to have a lot of very busy lifestyle with the material world. So then what you need to do, rather than struggling to find a way to how I can have a very simple lifestyle, so uplift the quality of your mind. So then by the time you will see, you don't need that much things around you. So that way you come to a very, the simple life. In another way, you develop the very contentment. So otherwise, and another thing is when the quality of mind go down, what will happen? The greediness arise. The desires become more and more, and desires become more powerful, higher. So then what will happen again? Then you're going to accumulate, hold things, grasp things, clinging to things. So then, rather than letting go, we are kind of like, it is a very famous mantra today. Everybody know letting go, but day by day, the material world becomes so big around us. If the people know very well what is letting go, why people so angry, and why people so, hold the grudge, and that go behind things and again and look for the revenge. Look at, and as people, as neighbors, as cities, states, countries around the world, everywhere, everybody unrest. And everybody, this greed day by day, if you look at the world, the greed day by day becomes so powerful. Not the contentment. So why that? Because the quality of mind, quality of thoughts decline. So then it is your responsibility. So whenever you have time, try to, because it is not you, that we have our mind, our body, this everything around us. It's a result of causation, cause and effect. That's why it happened that way. So then you have to apply some method to reduce the power of that. So then uplift the quality of mind. That's where you need to practice the mindfulness. So it is conventionally, it is very necessary for your ordinary life. It is very necessary. And to become a very successful person in this very lifetime, to uplift your quality of mind and quality of thought, very necessary. So then, how it will help you to go to deeper level of spiritual practice? How it will help you to go towards the Nibbana or the liberation or the transformation or the bring this insight change? So as you know, there are 5 mental factors: faith, effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. So there, the mindfulness is in the middle. Faith, effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. So when it comes to that, mindfulness is the place that balance this all the mental factors. Because if one thing go unbalanced, what will happen? Then your behavior become unwholesome. So how it can happen? How this, even these 5 mental factors, as example, the faith should balance with the wisdom. So that duty done by mindfulness. Because if the faith becomes so high without the wisdom, what will happen? You develop the ignorance. So whatever you believe, and then always the fear, and you have so much faith but no wisdom, fine, you end up being ignorance. But if you become mindful, the mindfulness is the center in your spiritual journey. So once you become mindful, what happens? The faith will balance with the wisdom. And just imagine if you have the wisdom, that the wisdom means here conventionally knowledge. If you have the knowledge, but if you don't have the faith, what will happen? You hold it to the wrong views, very strong wrong views. And you will do some kind, maybe there's no way that people, even, someone can take you out. So the faith need the wisdom need the faith. Remember that. So these 2 things can balance by the mindfulness. So one thing go away, you become unbalanced person, and your spiritual practice going to become mess up. You can be a zombie, and you can be kind of like a, mentally completely lost person. And there are people like that. So you don't need to be that. So it's your responsibility. So then being mindful, always remember, this doesn't matter. You can be faithful to anything. Nothing wrong with that. You can be faithful to anything, but be mindful. And then what will happen? The mindfulness will clear your faith, brush up your faith, and add the wisdom. You can be wise regarding anything. You can learn anything, you can develop your knowledge regarding anything. But just imagine, just reading books and getting some knowledge out of the society, develop your thoughts out of theories, and you don't have any faith. And end of the day, what will happen? Look at today, this all the most dangerous, this corruptions happen around the world. It's not done by very uneducated people. And all the well-known, educated people do these corruptions. And you and me, everybody knows that through just knowledge, it isn't enough for the world to have a good human being. More than any other time, around the world, everywhere, people have certain kind of knowledge regarding that the subjects, regarding that the things, whatever they learn. But look where they end most of the time, doing more harm or unwholesome things to the world. Why? Because they don't have sometimes a spiritual background or the foundation or the faith. So then remember, the wisdom need the faith, faith need the wisdom. So this both balanced by the mindfulness. And for your meditation also the same. So maybe you can have the faith regarding anything. Any practice, sometimes people say, things that you don't believe that what they experienced. But It's never going to take them to anywhere. It's just, develop a kind of like a roller coaster inside their mind. It's become like a cuckoo to them. That's it. It doesn't make any change. They're caught up in their mind. But how you can get it out from you? Be mindful. Whatever you practice, wherever you put your faith, be mindful. And whatever you learn, be mindful. So it is your responsibility. If you don't protect yourself like that way, what will happen? Just imagine if you're going to believe whatever the books that everything, the book says, where are you going to end? If you're going to believe that other people say, where are you going to end? So that's why you have to be, that's why when you develop the mindfulness, naturally, the faith and the wisdom will balance. Another thing is when it comes to practice, that as you know, there are major two pillars to any practice, that is effort and concentration. So that also balanced by the mind. That is the science of mindfulness. So you should know basically these things while you practice. Otherwise, it becomes just a struggle. So you have the effort, but you don't have the concentration. So what will happen then? You get tired. Maybe you will do whatever the practice, but you get tired. And you have the concentration, you don't have the effort. So what will happen? Then your mind going to become so cloudy and the power of mind start to shrink. It's become very gloomy. And you getting to more dark side inside you. So that is the reason. So you can get out of that when you develop the mindfulness, because mindfulness balance this. So whatever you put the effort and you put the right amount of concentration. And when you put the concentration to something, you have to balance your effort to that concentration. Otherwise, what will happen? Maybe the mind become very gloomy, or maybe you get tired. So then just imagine, it is not just sitting and close your eyes and that. So the mindfulness mean, well-known experience mean, clear experience mean, remembering means, and uplifting your thoughts and mind means what? Balancing these all the 5 mental factors. So it's done by mindfulness. So it's done by the awareness, clarity. So then when you experience something, rather than jumping ahead or step back, in the moment, guarding your senses, recognize what you experience, what you do. And another way is that the body and mind keep together. So just hearing it doesn't work. Why? Because even though by birth we had that quality and ability, what happened by the time, knowingly or unknowingly, we are now in a different level of mindset. Now, more than become mindful, we are master to imagine, visualize, because our imagination became our God, our creation. So rather than mindfulness, people, especially in the Western world, as you know, now in the world, there is no Western or Eastern, but only practice point of view, we bring that. Now in this, in this world, everybody is like kind of like, it's even anymore not a global village. It's a kind of like, global living room now, So in this society, there is no East or the West difference. So in the world, the imagination became the power. That is what an ordinary level, surface level, people see. But look at everybody imagine, everybody visualize, but you can't get anything. But most of the time people say, oh, imagination is the creation, imagination is the God, imagination is the power. But behind that imagination, mindfulness is the key. There are very few people know that. So what happened? A lot of people lost in the imagination, but very few people go beyond and catch the mindfulness. They become very successful. But in the world, the imagination is the very famous word. Imagination is the get the credit. And a lot of people get lost in imagination. But be very careful and look yourself. No? Unless if you become mindful, it doesn't matter your imagination, not going to bring anything. So becoming mindfulness is the key point. So that's why in any life, in any situation, if you lose that, you lose the power of mind. Of course, the power of mind, there are many abilities in mind. The one thing is imagination. And one is visualizing. Nothing wrong with that. But if you do it without mindfulness, without clear mind, what will happen? Where you go, what you visualize, what you imagine, maybe it's not going to become profitable for you. So then if you create some unwholesome imagination out of you, create something out of you, what will happen? In the very next day, you are in trouble. So that's why, remember yourself, the mindfulness is your guardian angel. If the imagination is the power, if the visualization is the power, the mindfulness is the guardian angel. So then if you have to hold it to the mindfulness while you whatever, think or experience or do something, and then you will see it always going to become more better, successful. Why? Because the mindfulness is the key to uplift the quality of thoughts. And not only that, the balance and then all the mental factors. So then remember, while you practice meditation, always bring that mindfulness, keep that clarity within yourself, moment by moment, moment by moment. Don't jump ahead. Don't go beyond your sensory doors. And stay there. Guard your sensory doors and be with it. Know what you experience. That's enough from the beginning. When you become very clear with that, when you develop a very solid foundation with that experience, naturally, you will see within yourself, the very first thing that you recognize as a result, you will see you become very sustainable person inside you. And at the same time, you become very disciplined person inside you. No rules, no any disciplinary codes, no any vow, no any promise, but just by yourself, being just yourself, you become very disciplined person. How beautiful it is. How peaceful it is for yourself. Then out of your bodily, verbally, mentally action, there is no unwholesome actions happen. So then how blissful person, how blissful gift that for yourself. Then there is no fear for you to live your life. Then when there is no fear for you to live a life, you're not afraid for the life, you're not afraid for the death. Why? Because you're not afraid for the samsara. So then you become very comfortable person as who you are. Out of that comfort, the mind become more strong and mind become more clear. So that clarity is very important. So that is the foundation, and that is another way that we recognize how this practice can help for us. That is another avenue, that is another window that yourself you can look into this. And then you have to know why you need to practice this and what are the benefits that you can gain even in the conventional life, and at the same time eternally for your spiritual practice. So once you have that clarity within yourself, so whenever you practice yourself, it becomes more and more clear for you. So with that, let's get into practice now a little bit. So now remember yourself while you practice the faith and the wisdom, the effort and concentration, keep balance with your mindfulness. So with that, your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Suvapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens, through the sensation, recognize inhalation as inhalations, exhalations as exhalations. Don't visualize, don't try to interfere with your thoughts. Don't try to control your inhalation, exhalation. Just allow it to happen naturally as it is. Do nothing extra. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. To your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, to spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhamman pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjisami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.